March 29th, almost the end of the month. My grandmother's birthday is actually today. God rest her soul. Woman had over 25 children in her lifetime, and there's 16 of them alive right now, and she has over 62 grandchildren, and I'm the second oldest of these 60-something grandkids that are still coming to their day. So it's the Hot Seat Radio Show. Donovan Sadiq, Mean, Sean Fortine, Mr. Moreno Valley, Daryl Terrell, and those in the audience listening and watching and seeing what we're going to be doing. Tay Wilder. We got to give Tay a nickname. Tay Wilder. Is on her way. She's going to be running a little late, but we got a lot of news going on and all the shenanigans going on in the city of Moreno Valley. So, here we go. Beautiful day today. Daryl, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great.
Everything at work, everything's going good. The weather.
Oh, well, yes.
Everybody's coming in with the spring.
Oh, yeah. They come in with a lot of, you say joy or happiness?
Joy, happiness, planting.
Oh, yes.
I got to do the siding on my house, by the way.
You come into our store, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I got my credit card. I know what's going on.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to use it.
Don't go to the other folks.
And plus my military account. You know how to use it. Yeah. Sean, how's everything going this week?
Oh, it's been all right.
A lot of stuff going on. Have you guys been seeing the signs of Mr. Carberis popping up in the 4th District? Have you guys been over there lately? Or?
No, I don't go over that way a lot.
Yeah, me neither.
I just see them. I saw one or two of them.
Okay. Well, we have a lot to talk about. As everybody knows, we have a special election coming up, and the news from the Edgemont Inland Empire Informer is going to be putting on a debate. And that debate, I met today with the developer, and he thinks it's a great idea. There's not many places you can go to put an event on in that district, because there's not a lot of empty buildings. Got a lot of empty warehouses in the city, but there's not really in that district a lot of stuff to put on. And I went over there and begging, saying, "Hey, we got to put this thing on so we can see who these candidates are."
And unlike the mayor's town hall, there won't be any cherry-picked phone calls.
Right. Yes. And by the way, at 6:00 today, I think that starts at 6. I have the city town hall, and I don't know what they're going to do for the Spanish speakers. If you don't understand Spanish, I'm a little poquito español, and I don't know what those people are going to be saying if they don't have a translation.
But why did they go that route? Why they didn't just have it at a like City Hall or something? He'd stay and take questions. Why they go?
Well, we all know the answer to that. He didn't like to be around adults.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Yeah, he doesn't like answering hard questions.
Right. I mean, he didn't show up to any debates when he ran for the election, and that's why he thinks the child that he is sponsoring, Mr. Carberis, is going to try to avoid any debates. They think they can win without debates. Victoria Baca won without a debate. He won without debating. They think that as much money, they wouldn't be emboldened to do all this if they didn't have my good friend Ito funding their campaign, because outside of Ito giving them all this money, they would be over selling oranges on the side of the street with everybody else. Let's just face it, because what does Victoria Baca do? She says she's an education specialist, but you're now a councilman in District 1, and we haven't seen you in this district since you were elected. Does anybody ever think about that?
She's a rabble-rouser. Her only talent is inciting discontent among shady people and contributing to the delinquency of a minor by trying to get him to ditch school
and promote agenda. And her agenda is Highland Fairview. Like, if you've been watching the video show, we do, and I put out the picture, right? The picture says 1,000 words. When you've got Luis Palomares, city advocate, when you got her in the picture, you're on the wrong.
Yeah.
So Mr. Cabrera,
what's Palomares going to do? Just call everyone names?
Well,
call everyone a hag and whatnot?
Yeah. Did you see the last city council? I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was there.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. This is a grown 60-year-old woman.
She wants to call people a hag. Does she ever watch videos of herself?
Yeah. In the mirror? Has she ever looked in the mirror? I mean, I'm just saying. We're not trying to be derisive, but if you're going to start calling people a hag, you got to look at yourself, like Michael Jackson says, the man in the mirror. You got to look at yourself first. And when I think of a hag, she kind of fits the description of what I would think. You remember the old Popeye series where you had the sea hag and stuff? Yeah. That's pretty much what if not a hag, it's a witch. So it's one or the other. It's not a hag, it's a witch something. But again,
I don't know. There's been times I'd kind of like to pull a fix and throw holy water on her.
I don't know because I watched that movie, the Omen and The Exorcist and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even think, man, we would need an ocean of water to cleanse this lady. It would be, it's just scary. I'm just going to say this. I live in Edgemont. There's a high Hispanic population here, and a lot of them are not, quote, quote, legal. Okay? I do not understand why you would leave Mexico because of the tyranny and the politics and how they do things there. Then you come here and then you do the exact same thing, or the exact same politics that they do there.
And then go to town hall meetings and try and support giving the mayor all kinds of unilateral powers, like he's going to be like their benevolent Zorro or something.
Well, and you also got to remember, in politics in America, you're not going to be in that position forever. So if you give this guy all this unilateral power, eventually your enemy or the other party or whatever is going to occupy that, then they're going to have that power.
Yeah, Harry Reid learned that the hard way.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I say. History has a way, if I keep saying, repeating itself. We've seen what happened so many years ago is happening again. That's why I say history is repeating itself.
Right. Well, look, here's what I say to all of that. If you haven't started, you need to, because, you got to drink in this town, because it's just so bad, because every time you bring this stuff up and you talk to other people from other cities, they're like, what the hell is going on in Moreno Valley? But they do stuff. So that, and it's sad. I don't think we live in together.
That's one of the nicer things I've heard.
Yeah. That's the Murder Valley. Look at all the acronyms, and it's just a sad, sad situation. But let me give you guys an update real quick on the debate. Okay, a tentative date of we haven't, nothing in concrete yet, but we're looking at the 22nd of April, 4 to 6 p.m. Tentatively. We have nothing's in concrete. We're going to announce it, but a debate will happen. It is coming down the pipe. Now, listen to this. 4 candidates. 4. There is no reason why these 4 candidates should not show up. Introduce yourself. Let yourself answer some questions, some honest questions. If you've been to our last debate, one of the most successful debates of the season, that thing. If the Highland Fairview employees come in, we're going to moderator. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff like we did last time, but this venue is going to be a very, very good venue. A lot of room. We're going to. I'm going to go into that a little bit in a second, but there's no reason why these candidates came up for the debate. Plenty of time. There's only 4 of them.
Yeah, I hope to see a way to. Well, I plan to bring up some really grueling questions, but I want to make it. I hope to like something like roll a dice to who goes first on each on a question or whatnot.
Sure.
To randomize it to make sure I'm not singling anyone out as a hit.
Sure, absolutely. And we're going to talk about that off camera, how we're going to do it, because we're the ones putting it on. And we're going to continue to do this because Edo and Highland Fairview, you can roll out all the candidates you want, but you know what? We're going to do what we're going to do and make sure that the people are informed, because I've said it all along. The biggest problem in this city is we are an uneducated city, and the people are not informed of what they're voting for. Mr. Cabrera's Child Cabrera's, I can't say Mr. when this guy's a child. Child Cabrera's has signs all over the place. Please explain to me, how does a 22, 21-year-old kid have money? What are you doing to have that kind of money? I've worked all my life, and I not that I couldn't afford signs like that, but to have that many signs all over the place. Derek?
Well, you know what Ronald Reagan said, politics is something to the effect of politics is the second oldest profession, and the longer he's in politics, the more he finds it resembles the oldest profession.
Yes. And being a young guy, he's a nice tenderoni, and they picked him out from the get-go. So, Mr. Creveris, you're not on our bad list right now, but you're hanging out with a lot of bad people.
I think that right now, after last city council meeting, I think it's pretty clear that Gutierrez is basically a taint on anyone he gets involved there, and he's basically exposes the poor character of anyone that is stupid enough to ties to him.
Oh my gosh! Like I said, I just don't understand. where's the adult in the room? I mean, this is why we told you. It's so sad in this city that people do not find out what's going on until after it already happened, and then it's too late. We've been telling you, know these candidates, do your research, do what you're supposed to do. Now everybody's upset because they see this guy and his antics. The guy is 30-something years old and still lives at home with his mom and dad.
Quite frankly, I really don't care where he lives. I just care about the job he does.
Right.
Right now, he's not. Right now, he's just being like the boy king on a power trip.
Well, explain this to me. He has no time to meet individually with the residents. It's been 10 months since I've requested formally to meet with you, idiot, and you haven't done it yet.
I still need to ask Brian Lowell if Gutierrez ever got back to him too.
Right. Well, Brian Lau, that's what happens when you bend over and you deal with these people, because they use no Vaseline and they just go straight in prison style. So I'm sorry to figure that out, but we've been telling you from day one that's what was happening. So, but this idiot won't meet with me. He won't meet with anybody. But yet you see him in pictures with this child. Now, I'm not saying anything, but it just seems to me he's more comfortable around his fellow children. Daryl?
I just say you have to, when you're a mayor of a city, you should be a statesman. And that's when you go back about listening to other opinions, even though you may disagree with them, you hate the guts, but you made this point a long time ago that regardless if you hate my guts or not, you still represent me.
Right.
And you have to listen to both sides. You have to build bridges. You just can't say, well, if you don't do what I say, then I'm going to make you pay for it. And that's not the mature way of being a statesman.
Notice how when there's public comments, he just kind of like sits there in a stew like he's being punished, like he's been sentenced to like some sort of community service or something like that.
Well, are you talking about him talking about Bank Robber Jimson? Because she just slumps there when she was on the seat. I mean, they steamrolled her whole 2 years on that seat.
Yeah, well, I think, Gutierrez, it seems like he has a little cloud over his head while comments are going on.
Oh, yeah, no, he's somewhere else. I think he's, what's that game, Doodle Doodle Etch-a-Sketch? He's just like, doodle-doodle-doo, you know?
You really think that much is going on in his head?
Don't even get started. But let's talk about, I met with candidate Shay Bernard. She said it's okay to call her Shay, Michelle Linda. Bernard, and we met last week at the Starbucks, and we're going to be going out in the back in the radio show a little bit now that's warming up and everything like that, doing it out and being seen. But we met with Miss Shay and asked her a lot of questions. Some things she knew, some she didn't know. But one thing I did make her aware of: you want to stay on MV Gordy's good side. So I asked her. I said, "Hey, is there anything we need to know? Were you formerly on a pole somewhere, or, were you a dancer, or, anything like that?" I know I'm joking when I say that, but
Does he have any felony convictions?
Right, any felony convictions? Have you evaded police, Mr. Krabaris? Have you done any of these things that we're looking for? Because people are searching on it right now. She says, well, no, not, whatever. She's a social worker, so that's true. She does work.
And if that's, she's probably undergone like FBI
background checks and all that good stuff. Very nice girl. I say about 35 years old. I didn't want to. It's always improper to ask a woman her age. Is that? Yes, it's very improper. That's somebody in the audience. Be quiet, person, audience. She's about 35 years old. So I'm just guesstimating. New married. She's pretty much married, and she's been a resident here for 11 years. One of my main problems with her was I asked her, "What is the main issue in District 4?" Do you hear that once?
What did she say?
Okay, look, here's her answer. So, because, what is the main issue in District 4? A lot of people, and I'm going to give this away, whatever. People think, WLC. It is not the WLC.
There's a lot of warehouses. There's a lot of homeless. There's a lot of part-time jobs and temp jobs that don't have any benefits or any room for promotion.
Right. The biggest issue right now in the District 4 is the golf course. All those people who spend their money to live by a golf course and all that other stuff. Remember, it's a dead golf course right now, so it's just a big eyesore in the middle of that. So most of our revenue, or people that have money in the city, live in District 4. So that's the high end of the city, correct? Correct.
Well, parts of it are.
Yeah, parts of it. I think it'd be equivalent with where Sean. See, Sean comes down to the average person, but he's up in District 2, near the lake. So don't let him pull
not
it.
near the lake.
Yeah, okay.
not that well.
That well, right. But anyway, he's in District 2. So for those candidates, the biggest thing happening for you is going to be, one of the things is the golf course, because that's the biggest area. Mighty Max has finally made it into the dig.
What's up?
Welcome, Max. Welcome.
No, I'll
Have you been working? You can sit if you like.
You want to sit in the chair here?
Yeah.
Because this. Hi, everyone.
Yeah,
Right here. Thank you. You're
Yes.
such a gentleman.
Oh, hey, gentlemen.
Yes, it totally reeks of alcohol. But so, Mighty Max, what have you been into?
Oh, I'll share.
Okay, so we're gonna give Max a little quick thing so she can get us up to date on what's been happening.
Good evening, everyone. What's up? I have been in a very nice haircut. You. A very creative space. I have been writing. I have been soul searching. I have been working. But I'm unhappy at that job. So we're on the search for a new one. Sundays, I started a podcast called Set It Up with Max. And, right now, I am in the midst of revamping Chelsea.
Yes, and by the way, I did listen to your show all the way in Shanghai, China.
Yes,
And the Chinese people were jumping all over the place.
here's the deal. We are revamping Chelsea so that way my parents won't kill me when I decide to share it with the world. It's something I'm passionate about and I believe in. And Chelsea Taboo comes from, I'm Chelsea and I like taboo acts. And so...
Keep it PG.
Right, no, super PG. I'm excited to allow people a space to grow their mindset about lifting off barriers of what they've placed in normal sexual lives, especially for married people or people who are afraid to explore those parts of their mindset. And Set It Up with Max on Sundays is a space for people to really reflect on what they're doing to have powerful weeks and to have a powerful life and a powerful mindset. And, some people might think I'm crazy because I have 15 personalities, but
Yeah, civil.
But I just believe that everyone has different parts of them that they unlock on different levels.
Okay, let me ask you this. Max is a recent graduate ASU.
Yeah, Sun Devils.
The Sun Devils. And a lot of us out here, especially our children that are graduating college, they can't find jobs. And I'm not saying you can't find a job, but even if you find a job you hate.
Right.
And if this doesn't tell you young people out there that are looking and maximizing your degree, you might have to make your own job or make your own opportunity. Would that be correct in the assessment?
Yes, but also I am a person who is an extremist. So it's hard for me to conform a lot of times, or I don't understand why companies do things this way when it would be better for the people if you did it that way. So I just watched a video the other day. Not everyone could be an entrepreneur, right? Because then other people wouldn't have jobs.
True.
So if you find something that you're passionate about, that there is a company that allows you to have the platform in which you think you are going to grow the most and be the most impactful in your community or the most impactful in the genre in which you have decided to place your passion into, then go for it and you be that big boss at wherever.
Right.
But if you can't find that and you understand that your passion is somewhere else, then do that.
Okay. We're going to get back to that, and I'm glad that we made it out. And Max is you're going to give us some tips on the heat and what's going on with the hotness and getting our body in shape and stuff. It's obvious you've been in your car dipping and dabbing there. That's obvious. I wish you would stop that, but you're a young person. But anyway, back to Shay Bernard. So she wasn't really up on what was going on politically in regards to what's really been the district for. But there's a lot of things, roads, post things there.
But another issue too, like we talked about last week, independence. Are you going to be able to be strong enough to think for yourself and not have somebody coerce you into taking a position, or will you be able to stand up and be able to...
I hope everybody comes out to the debate, because you're going to see that this is a very forceful young woman. How do I say this without offending anybody? But I just have to be honest about it. There's a stereotypical loudmouth black woman that is portrayed in the media, correct?
Yeah.
Denise Fleming would be a stereotypical of that. I'm the loudest in the room. I'm Denise.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily just in the media. I think there's a lot of those.
Yeah, it's in the community and life and things like that. So I'm Denise Fleming from Chicago. You know, that loudness. And I don't know why they think that's cute. I don't know why they think because you yell the loudest, you're going to get the most attention. But for some people, it works. At first, when I met her, that's how it kind of came off. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because I have no dog in the fight there. Willing to listen, which is really good. I do know who is behind her candidacy, and I'm not going to spoil that for anybody. I do know who is behind Commissioner Baker's candidacy. I'm not going to spoil that for anybody else. And I am doing some Hector Diaz research, and Hector Diaz is a good friend of mine. I'm not going to run away from that, but we have to do our jobs and get that information out.
The one thing I know about Chelina Bernard that might hurt her is that since the Edens have given her a glowing endorsement, that's probably going to...
It might lose some votes, right?
Yeah, for conservatives that know what's going on in city politics, that's probably going to be a bad mark.
A red flag, right? It'll be a red flag to them to say, well, what do we got to do here? So a lot of going on in the politics. Now, if you guys have been following the page, and I share with everybody, an FPPC violation has just come down. And the first thing Victoria Baca is going to say is, what FPPC violation? I don't know anything about that. Now, as I've said before, and we say all the time, this is a show that does not bluff. We do not bluff here. We are bad poker players. We're sitting at this table right now. I wish we had some bid with some spades. You guys into spades? Spades? Yeah, see, we got some spades players in here. But you don't bluff, okay? We don't bluff. We don't need to. So I filed the last FEPC violation on her. There's another one coming down. It has been. I got the email. This is no joke. Look at her 460s. And if you go to the city website, look at her 460s. There are 16 companies. And Sean, I'm going to ask you this question. There are 16 companies that share the exact same address.
That was the beginning of that question. Is it going to be that company on like Dove Avenue in Newport Beach?
Yes. Suite 100. There's like 16 different companies that come from that.
How much are they?
With 500 donations each. Now, it doesn't take a genius to say, hey, something's wrong right there. You know, I mean, come on. So, Camille, in the audience, would you think that would be suspicious? Suspect. It's suspect. I mean, any common sense knows that. So, of course, I'm going to do everything I can to bring out criminal Baca and make her pay. I'm going to bleed these people as much as I can. So, I'm not a official.
Okay, where is the office for the FPPC located?
Office is up in Sacramento.
Do they have anybody down here that looks at it?
No.
Okay, so that if they say there's credibility, this is someone that's like what 600 miles away.
600 miles away.
And they're looking at the paperwork that's presented to them and saying there's something really wrong here.
Right. Now, remember last time when I took her to court and I was down at the courthouse and I was like, it's about to go down.
Yeah.
There's money laundering. I said it could lead into money laundering. Remember, I alleged that? If you go back into our archives and our files, you'll see a video of me saying that. This case is about, I could care less about the treasurer. Thank God she got exonerated. But the point was, if I was about to testify, this was going to lead into money laundering. That's what I kept saying. This is about money laundering. Now, what does this look like? It's either a shell game or something, because those companies we've already looked up don't exist. And even if they did exist, for tax purposes, you can't occupy the same building. That's just common sense.
Well, from what I see, they exist on paper, but I haven't been able to find out that they've actually built anything. Right.
I mean, how do you have a manufacturing company, a grocery company, all companies mixed into the same building? It's just, but this goes back to Moreno Valley. And I'm sorry that you guys hate to hear this. I know you want to hear how great we are and nobody does anything better than Ghetto Valley, Murder Valley, and whatever we do best. But one thing that we do best is we elect criminals to office. Bank robber Jimson. I've been working for 30 years into the community. It doesn't matter that I robbed a bank 30 years ago. Embezzlement, robbing. If you embezzle in a bank, it is considered robbery.
It's the only difference. It's an inside job as opposed to holding a gun to someone's head.
Right, exactly. It's still robbery. If you embezzled at a grocery store, that's embezzlement. But in a bank, any kind of thievery in a bank is bank robbery. So we got her. You got Mike Rios. You got Marcelo Coe. We can go on and on and on and on. And the king of them all is what's her name? Victoria Baca, the king of them all.
And then we've got repeat misdemeanor stupid Evan Moore.
Right, Evan Moron, and we're not even done dealing with Miss Moron.
And we're still working on make sure we have the right Ulysses.
Right, Ulysses Cabrera has not been confirmed, but we're almost sure that that's the guy. Because 21, 20, he moved to Texas. I mean, everything is just not adding up with how we need to add up. Now, I don't want to be stereotypical, but once again, we have it's not black people time. We're on employed people time. Okay, great. We've got Shay. Shay has come into the fray. Shay, where you been?
Who are you talking to? You call me on behalf of my name. What's wrong with
you? I'm sorry. Tay, Shay, we're talking about your girl in the 4th District that's going to be running. Her name is Shay Linda.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And you asked her some very poignant questions.
Well, who is she? I just want to know who she was.
She's been in the town for 11 years. Doesn't know much about the WLC yet. She's heard about it. She's heard about the corruption.
She's heard of it?
She's heard of it. She's heard about it. So, it's one of those things. But how is all that money making going for you?
It's fantastic.
Well, like I said, when are we out? I mean, hey, Shay, Tay is balling, you guys. If you guys didn't know, Tay is a baller. She is a baller. Well, you work out there in Temecula, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: why don't you work here in the city of Moreno Valley?
Because I can't find a good paying job out here.
What's a good paying job?
Everything that I've seen was like $12.50, $10.50.
That's a good job. I work for $10-15 an hour. That's great.
No,
enough for you.
No,
so,
it doesn't even.
So you're a commuter.
Yes, I have. And
you're commuting because there's better paying jobs outside of Warehouse Valley.
Yes.
Makes sense to me. So why is it that they keep warehouses if that isn't what a majority of people like yourself are looking for?
It's not even the whole warehouse. It's not the issue. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that with the jobs I apply for, mm-hmm. I'm either overqualified,
right?
And it's not even just the warehouse part. It's the managerial, the operations, mm-hmm. all that stuff. Either overqualified or they hire outside.
Right. Well, we'll tell you that I have a background in logistics as well too. Are you guys hiring?
Yeah.
I need to make at least $25 an hour with my background.
You can clear that.
I can clear that, probably. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then if we date, that's even better on top of that, right? I'm just speculating. I'm just saying 1 + 1 = 2.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay. See, look, Tay will never give me a chance because she's making all that good green, so she's kind of thinking for herself. So I don't.
Yeah, she kind of has like a little bit of a blank stare on her.
Yeah. So, but outside of that, what else has been going on? And you were at Disneyland recently.
I love Disneyland. I'm a pass holder. I go every week.
That Disneyland has nothing on Shanghai Disneyland. Nothing at all. Nothing. Zero. Shanghai Disneyland, you need to go. I'm telling you, I went to Okinawa. You could have came.
Well, that can be my vacation for next year.
Our vacation. Our vacation.
Are you going on our vacation this year?
Yeah, if you want me to. I mean, hey, I'll go. I mean, even though I'm not retired, I haven't been in the middle and all that other stuff like the Highland Fairview idiots have been saying.
Oh, those alternative facts.
Yeah, the alternative facts. For somebody who doesn't work, I go to China, I go places and just do things. It just blows my mind how somebody who has no background, all these things. So, no.
Siphoning off the government.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just living off the government. Your son is going to graduate this year?
Yeah.
So
I'm not ready. I
you're
can't
not
talk
ready?
about it. It's emotional.
Emotional for you?
It's my
He's
firstborn.
yes, but he's going out and going to do his thing.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He should be
Absolutely.
getting a haircut right about now. One of
What?
our local businesses.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I mean, what did he have? He has a fro hawk, or what does he got going?
Man, it's a disaster.
He's
It's a
70s
disaster.
J fro.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
Gotta
not
cut
bad.
it
Okay. Express yourself. Remember the song?
Yeah.
Remember the song?
No, he needs to let that go.
Okay. Daryl, so Mr. Moreno Valley, what is happening on your side as in regards to mental health and things like that that's going on in the commission that you're on?
Well, we still we had our retreat, which was Saturday, and we were talking about some of the issues in regards to because so much is happening with the ACA, and there's a lot of unknowns because you have the Medicare waiver, but it was a lot of good information that was out, and we having some more committees now. Quality of service, and we having the housing committee, and anybody can join those committee in these committees and stuff. A lot of the things we're pushing for is like for the homelessness and the children and the adult care, and the housing to be a good thing now. So, Sean, if you would like to, be part of it, or if you have time, whatever.
I might. But anyways, if so many people in using the county mental health system are using Medi-Cal or Medicare, is the ACA stuff really going to have that big of an impact on them?
Well, they were trying to look at that aspect of it because they don't know what the ramifications are. That's what I think at the next meeting they're going to talk about, some ramification of those type of reforms on mental health and substance abuse. And that was a big issue for
Right. Did you attend the Mark Takano town hall?
No, that was Saturday.
Last
we
Saturday.
had our retreat then.
Okay, I happened to attend. Hey, did you go? You missed that. Oh, you saw the video though, right?
I saw part of the video.
Okay, Mark Takano, chief of staff, or his aide calls me and says, "Hey, we're having this town hall. I want you to be there." Smart man to keep us on our good side, so he wants to stay on our good side. Went, saw it. Okay, my question is this: I'm not like downing Mark Takano or anybody else, but how do you have a town hall if they do all the speaking? Anyone?
So that was the format. There was just a panel. What I saw was
like a seminar or
or informational speech. I mean,
it's them. Okay, this is the ACA. This is what blew me away, and had a lot of Sean right wingers there. Sean's people there. with nothing wrong with that.
Really, the only. I guess it doesn't matter if you didn't answer a question. I guess it doesn't matter that I didn't go. But my big question is, why not take a good hard look at Rand Paul's plan?
Right. Yeah. Why not? But I mean,
the Paul Ryan's plan was a train wreck, and I'm glad that the Republicans didn't link arms and pass the first healthcare bill that was.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster.
I'm actually glad to hear someone actually say that it was a train wreck.
Yeah,
it was going to.
Right, but see, all the Democrats are sitting there going, "Woo!" That's the first thing Mark Takano said was, "Wow, we just dodged a bullet." That it didn't pass. But he forgot that there was an executive order signed by Trump to direct the Health and Human Services guy to do everything he can to defund and mess up,
to sabotage.
Right.
Obamacare
it's not over.
Half the Obamacare co-ops have already failed, and the rest are almost all of them are going to fail sooner or later. So something has to eventually be done. But I don't want to see them pass the first bill that comes in front of their face, like with the Democrats.
Right. But what I'm saying, but wouldn't it make more sense to do this? Okay, it's obvious they had 7 years to come up with a plan. They don't have a plan.
And they came up with that turd.
Right, and they came up, and it was mostly tax cuts for the rich. That's what it encompassed. Instead of repealing it, why don't they fix it? Just fix it.
I don't see why they just don't take the time and section it off and try to accomplish,
Right.
portions of
Portions
it,
of it.
versus throwing the whole baby out with the bathwater and then trying to recreate something from scratch.
Right.
It took when the ACA originally passed, it took
months,
a year and
about
some change.
6 months, a year, or something like that.
It was like a year and some change.
Right.
Take the time. This is people's health we're talking about.
Right.
You know, this,
Well,
this
you know, the
isn't
funny
something
thing
to take
was
lightly.
a lot of the people that voted for Trump, those were the ones that were on the ACA.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, that. So,
But yeah, well, like you were saying, I agree.
Well, I think they were expecting the ACA to change,
right.
go away altogether.
But it should be like piecemeal. If you agree on keeping your kids on when you're 26, then that should be a bill. I mean, what you're saying is correct. There should be a piecemeal. What people agree on, Republicans and Democrats agree on, let's pass that. Then the stuff that we don't agree, let's try to work on that. But the most important thing is a lot of the Republicans do agree on some aspects of Obama.
Right.
And that's the ones.
Yeah, like realistically, I don't see Medicaid going anywhere. Medi-Cal, there's a pretty good chance that Holes will fill in on that to where it's like the Medi-Cal beneficiary will probably eventually not get nickel and dime so much for services that are not covered or medications that are not completely covered. But what I like about Rand Paul's plan is he is an actual doctor, and a lot of his plan was that
Optometrist, but go ahead.
yeah, but still he's familiar
doctor.
with how things work, and this revolves around a lot about financing people's individual health plans through tax deductions, to where it's like where people get tax deductions to get their health care. Which the thing about that is that that would help provide someone with pre-existing conditions to be able to afford health care. Still, it might be more expensive, but if they're getting the tax deductions.
But that's the thing. It shouldn't be more expensive if you have pre-existing conditions. You can't.
Single payer.
Oh, I agree with single
Well,
payer.
that's what the legislature is doing right now.
Payer.
Well, I mean, I have a bill up there.
I disagree with single payer because then anytime a company has government contract, it's basically just like an ATM where they just like try and ring it for everything they.
Well, okay, I went to Japan and China, and I was in Japan. Now, I haven't even put into their economy other than Tay used to live there.
Yeah.
And a couple of the bars and the clubs and stuff, and what I'm doing over there.
I lived in the cities.
Yeah. So I was up in Naha, doing the steakhouse thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I got hurt there, I'm going to be taken care of.
My son did.
Yeah, no bill, no. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll fix you up. Okay, you're out of here. Boom.
My son got hit by a car, and he did more damage to the car than he.
That's
But no, it was nothing.
what I'm saying.
Took care of him, X-rays, the whole
thing. There was no bill presented to you at all.
No,
Done.
I love it.
And a lot of people that I have some Russian friends in Orange County. When they need their teeth done and seizure medical, they fly back to Russia to get it done because they can't afford to do it here.
My last job, we were talking about healthcare because again, I've had TRICARE my whole life, so
Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
But I didn't realize how many people that I actually know go to Mexico for healthcare because it's so much cheaper than having to deal with dentists in the United States. She's like, oh yeah, my braces, it's like a third of the cost, and it's the same dentist that her family's been using for years. For years. And I was like, well, because in my mind, I'm like,
well, I have a friend whose daughter, she went to Mexico to get implant, whatever. It was cheaper down. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's the same. It's not like it's some third world, you're in a hut and they're going to cut on you and do some blah, 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 blah. These people, it's the same kind of conditions at a way cheaper cost.
I'm just concerned that if they try to repeal Obamacare, that they're not going to take care of the poorest of the poor, the people who can't afford to take care of themselves. I'm fortunate. I don't have to worry about it.
We're going to have a check and medical for the rest of our lives.
I do have people that I work with that have pre-existing conditions, can't afford the insurance that our job provides, went on Obamacare, and, yay.
They're covered, right?
But the people are actually afraid that, I don't make, if they repeal this thing, then how am I going to be able to afford if they make it hard for me and my family?
Right.
So I know right now one guy at my job for his family, and I forgot what insurance we have, pays $1,500 a month just for healthcare, and I'm like, that's absurd. I pay $43.
Right, but see, here's the difference. So the people that are complaining, and this don't blow up in the news and like that, the people that are complaining about healthcare, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but this is stuff that people do not want to talk about. Okay, you have this thing called white privilege. These are people that have the money. They've always had money. Okay, so their premium is going to be a little bit more expensive than the person that's on the average person on the street. Now, would you rather have 1 million people uncovered? Because we're paying either way it goes. They're going to go to the emergency room either goes. Would you rather have a million people uncovered and their children uncovered just so 800 people who have money, who really can't afford it, they just don't want to pay that? And I don't want to pay it, but...
Emergency room should not be anybody's family practice clinic.
Right.
That should never happen. My sister's in the medical field, and she's like, it's the saddest thing in the world when she had to do her ER rotation, that people are actually using the ER as a family practice.
Bill comes to the American taxpayer. And what I'm saying is, if you had 800 people who have money that had a premium, let's say they were paying $300 a month, which is high. Now, I didn't have any coverage. Let's just say like I didn't have any coverage. I'm just a guy that there was no Obamacare. Now there's 1 million of us that have no coverage, and we're going to the emergency room, whatever the deal is. The people that are complaining are those people that have money that don't want to pay $1,800 even though they can afford it.
Yeah.
They just don't want to pay that.
I just think that there has to be a better way to provide healthcare services, affordable healthcare services to people without it costing an arm. When my grandmother had stage 4 cancer, my parents, because she capped out on, for her premiums and stuff, and my parents were paying out of pocket, and that was financially draining for them.
Well, the Republicans have said healthcare accounts. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know about you. It's one health issue to wipe you out completely. So let's say I need to do a hysterectomy, $350,000, let's say, whatever it costs for my hysterectomy. Oh, by the way, Terry, I'm not married, but hysterectomy. Okay? $250,000. If I could save $250,000, we wouldn't even be having this debate. So health savings accounts for the average American, that ain't going to work.
Right.
That ain't going to work because come on, everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. Come on.
Yeah, because they say every majority of Americans are one paycheck away
from
bankruptcy, and that's pretty scary.
Or just don't get sick.
I mean, it's nice, but
realistically,
kids go to school, they catch bugs. I mean,
right. I mean, and to me, I think single payer is the way. I don't see people in Canada complaining. I don't see people in Mexico complaining. The ones that want to stay there because that's where the economy is booming over there. And that's where we're going with the ACA. But we've got a lot more to talk about in the second hour. This has been the Hot Seat Radio Show. Wilder, Mighty Max, Mr. Moreno Valley, Daryl Terrell. Always mean Sean Fortine. He's coming from the right. And as always, it is me, local troublemaker, Don Sadiq. We're going to catch you guys in the second hour. Please like and share. And let us know your thoughts on what's going on. Debate is coming up. Please be ready. Know your candidates. Do your homework, people. We're not done yet. This is just the second hour. Second hour is coming right up.